Season 3 of the F1 Academy Racing Series begins here at the Shanghai International Circuit in China. A brand new venue to kick us off as we visit a brand new location. Welcome everyone to your coverage for qualifying practice, which gives us a new format for this season. We're going to have 2 races coming up this weekend where the top 8 will be reversed for race 1, and this, the circuit they will have to take on. It will have that 1.2 kilometer straight down at the back straight, which will give us lots of great overtaking, lots of great on-track action for the fans to enjoy as well. An extended grid for this season. We are up to 17 full-time drivers now in the F1 Academy Racing Series, the biggest grid we have seen. 18 for this weekend. We will have a wild card at each round, and this weekend Shi Wei will be flying the Chinese flag for the home fans. We've had practice a little earlier, and now we will have qualifying where we will go and set the grid. 30 minutes coming up for you. Well, my name's Chris McCarthy. Alongside me, Izzy Browning. Izzy, practice earlier where the drivers had their first chance of the weekend to get up to grips with the circuit, and lots going on in that practice session.
Yeah, exactly. Straight into it in the 2025 F1 Academy Series. As you said, 40 minutes of practice this morning. Dorian Pin finished up the quickest in that session with a 2:04.198, but less than a tenth ahead of her teammate that you can see on screen now, Tina Hausmann. Then came Chloe Chambers, Maya Vug and Nina Hardeman, all 3 Premers in the top 5. And a brief red flag where Rafaela Ferreira and Leah Block coming together on track, and Rafaela Ferreira has been deemed at fault for that incident. As you can see, Leah Block no longer taking part in this qualifying session. We are hearing that it's a potential chassis change for Leah Block, and Rafaela Ferreira taking a 3-place grid penalty for both race 1 and race 2. Not the ideal start for either of those drivers, but for Rafaela Ferreira, you move on and full focus on this qualifying session.
Yes, and a shame for both drivers, but long season ahead and 2 races coming up for this weekend. And for Shi Wei, she mentioned this as a breakthrough in her career to be given this opportunity. She's being run by High-Tech TGR this weekend. New team for this season, and a welcome to High-Tech TGR, the 6th team now to be competing in F1 Academy. Really great to have them as part of the series, competing alongside the other teams that we have in Rodin Motorsport, ART Grand Prix, MP Motorsport, Campos Racing and Prema Racing. Let's go through the format for you then. We go back to the reverse grid race that we had in 2023. So the idea now of this qualifying session is you want to be in the top 8 positions. The top 8 will be reversed for race 1. That will be a lower scoring race. The top 8 drivers will score points in race 1, 10 points going to the winner, 8 for second, 6 points for 3rd place, and then we'll work from 5 points down to 1 for 8th place. And then on Grand Prix Sunday, it'll be a race 2 where we will have the Grand Prix points style system with 25 for the winner. So it's all about being in the top 8 for this session. Okay, well, we do not have Leah Block in this session. She is sadly watching from the sidelines due to the rebuild of her chassis that is happening, but we did catch up with her yesterday before the weekend.
Yeah, this track is really unique, especially with the type of corners you have. The first 2 corners look very odd on a track map, but we have the long back straight, which I think will definitely lead to some good overtaking into T14. So yeah, you're gonna have to watch out in your mirrors as well. There's gonna be a lot of drafting, and with Formula 4 cars, it's gonna be interesting.
This one of 3 new circuits on the calendar for this season. We have Shanghai International Circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, and the Las Vegas Strip to end the season as well. Such great circuits to be added to the calendar, Izzy, as well. Very unique challenge for them. The circuit has had a new surface go in for this year as well. We're coming to it earlier in the year than we usually do. As well, in terms of the Chinese Grand Prix. F1 cars have been out there for today now as well. It's a unique challenge for the F4 cars, isn't it?
Absolutely so, and of course these drivers have had the practice session to get to grips a little bit with this track, but of course they've also had 3 days of testing here previously, and it being a new track, only 1 driver on the grid has raced here before, and that is our wildcard driver, Shi Wei, and in some ways that makes it a more even playing field considering those returning to the series this year. As I've said, Shi Wei, the only driver to have raced here before, so perhaps a little bit of an advantage for her.
Chloe Chong on your screen. She raced in 2023, so knows all about the reverse grid format. She is back for 2025 after showing the capabilities she did in that season, went on a run of point scoring finishes towards the end of that season and has done well in 2024. And is now back for this season. We're seeing lots of drivers still in pit lane, just making their way out now. Someone who did well in practice was Joanne Ciconti as well. Had a great practice session. Let's see how she does in this one. One of the best rookies in practice as we ride on board with Chloe Chong, almost going into the back of Joanne Ciconti there. Let's see as Ciconti came out of pit lane. We had Chong not knowing which way to go, and Chong having to back off what looked to be a flying lap there. So Ciconti just making her way out of pit lane. Alicia Palmovsky, P9 for her in practice. Maybe not seeing the best of her abilities just yet. She's in the Red Bull Racing livery, so all 10 teams supporting a driver if you're new to F1 Academy, and the major partners also supporting the others, major partners of F1 Academy. Red Bull Racing backing young Alicia Palmovsky.
Yeah, Alicia, very talented driver coming into this field. Of course, did the wildcard round in Qatar and impressed there. Red Bull snapping her up. Very measured driver, very articulate driver, great at explaining how she feels in the car, which I have no doubt her engineers appreciate too, given the way that she is able to explain the level of detail of how she feels in the car to interviewers. I'm sure the engineers hoping that, well, expecting and being glad that she is able to give that level of detail.
Quickest time earlier was a 2:04.1. We're getting closer and closer to that. Let's see what Alicia Palmovsky can do as she takes us to the line. Now she's going to make her way up, and she goes quickest now with a 2:05.092. So we are getting closer to those quickest times. Alicia Palmovsky goes to provisional pole position as we continue to go faster. Let's ride on board with Chloe Chambers now, making her way through the S section, and she's going to drop the outside tyres there off through turn 7. Let's have a look at this again from an outside point of view. There we see the outside tyres going off. We saw a similar situation happen earlier for Ella Lloyd. Maya Verg is looking very quick on this lap. We've had the turn 1 incident between Ciconti and Chong noted for impeding. Meanwhile, we're seeing a Ferrari go quick sound familiar for today. Maya Berg going quick in the Ferrari liveried car. She was very quick at the end of last season. Can she pick up where she left off? Up to the line she goes now. Maya Berg goes quickest with a 2:04.301.
And Maya Berg with a point to prove, coming in, of course, her second season in the championship, ended last year in 2024 with a win, and will want to keep that momentum going. And where does the momentum start? It all starts in qualifying, of course, setting the grid for both race 1 and race 2. And mentally, this is one of, if not the most important qualifying session of the season, because we are setting the pecking order, and it just allows you to relax a little bit and know that you have the pace out there.
Chong and Chiconti will be investigated after this session, by the way. Yet to see what Dorian Pin can do. Reigning vice champion, so she'll want to go and try and take that title this year. But times are coming in fast as We've had Alba Larsen go P4, Parmovsky is third, Chambers is second. But we're yet to see what the likes of Dorian Pin can do. It looks like she's getting ready to go for a quick run on this lap.
Yeah, hugely excited to see what Dorian Pin can do this year in the championship. Of course, finished second to Abby Pulling last year, and she will have gone away over the winter, had a reset, had a look at what she can do better, and she will come back fighting this year, I have no doubt. And I'm sure that we will be seeing a lot of fast lap times from Dorian Pin over the course of the series.
Fighting with the steering wheel there, wasn't she? Dorian Pin through the first corner and into turn 2. She is pushing hard on this lap. We've got personal best times coming in from Chloe Chambers, Alba Larsen, also from Chiconti and Nicole Havrida as well, the Canadian driver. And Dorian Pin on your screen, as you can see, is fastest of anyone. Tina Hausmann also going quickly as well, as is Nina Hardeman as well. But this is the quickest of all of them through the first sector. It's the Mercedes back driver, Dorian Pin. George Russell coming to visit her on Thursday to wish her all the best. And let's see if the Mercedes back driver can now go fastest in this session as we approach half distance. Dorian Pin taking us up to turn 11, and this is looking quick, is it?
It is looking quick for now. Can she keep it together for the rest of the lap? A personal best in sector 2. She'll be chasing after that top spot that Maya Berg currently holds in this qualifying session. 18 minutes to go in this session.
Round now on to the back straight. We've just had a personal best from Ferreira. Don't forget, she is carrying 3-place grid drops. Don't forget, the top 8 are reversed as well. As it currently stands, Ella Lloyd would go to reverse grid pole, but we have to consider that 3-place grid drop for Ferreira. Havrida has just gone in to that 8th place. There is George Russell watching on, Jock Clear watching on as well, part of the Ferrari Driver Academy. He will be supporting Maya Berg. Dorian Pin now round the final corner. Will this take Dorian Pin to the top of the standings? No, second place for Dorian Pin, just under 2 tenths behind Maya Berg, but that would be enough for the front row for the Mercedes back driver. Here we see a replay. Now we did see at the start of the lap that Dorian Pin was fighting with the car. We had that great picture, the curb cam as she came through the first corner, and that was the outside view of when she was fighting with the steering wheel coming through the first corner. Lots of people going quickly. One of them is Chloe Chambers. I can tell you, Dorian Pin has gone faster again through the first sector. Chloe Chambers trying to improve on what is a 3rd place. Your top 8 currently, as they are the top 8 that would be reversed, are Berg, Pin, Chambers, Larsen, Hardeman, Parmovsky, Hausmann and Chiconti.
Yeah, Chloe Chambers took a win last year in the series, never taken a pole position. The only driver on the grid to have taken a pole position is Dorian Pin. Chloe Chambers trying to change that this weekend, and she's personal best in sector 1 and in sector 2 currently.
Chambers coming into pit lane, so she has bailed from that lap. Tina Hausmann, the Aston Martin back driver, was second fastest earlier. Let's see if she can improve. Currently in P7 in this session. Will she be able to improve on this lap? She's going a bit slower through the second sector. The driver to watch, Dorian Pin. She is threatening to go past Maya Berg, who is in pit lane so far. Maya Berg is provisionally the driver who would start this one from pole. There's still a long way to go in this session. Tina Hausmann, I think, is going to come in. Is she? No, she's going to keep going. Let's see as she makes her way up to the line now. Will this improve on her 7th place? No, she stays where she is for the time being. Dorian Pin, though, where is she? Let's see, we jump on board with her now. Dorian Pin up to the line. She's within 1/10 of a second of Maya Berg. Nina Hardeman, meanwhile, has gone P4. So another improvement from the Alpine driver. Now, let's have a look at what happened to Chloe Chambers. The Red Bull Ford driver lock up into turn 11, and that will affect her run onto that crucial back straight. Here she comes into the left-hander. Most important corner, probably on the whole circuit. You've got to get a good run out of there as we pick up the likes of Hausmann and Hardman, who's just put in a really good run there. The Alpine liveried car, Alpine winning last year with Abby Pulling, and this is the driver they're back in this year.
Absolutely, and psychologically to step into those shoes and to represent the Alpine team that, of course, Abby Pulling won in that Alpine livery last year. Big shoes to fill for Nina Hardeman, but she's a strong character, she's a feisty character, and taking it all in her stride on this first weekend of her first full season in the F1 Academy Series. Of course, wowed in Zandvoort, her home race in the wildcard weekend last year in 2024. Back for a full season this year and hoping that she can be a title charger in her first year.
We're into the second half of the session now. We're getting to what is half time. Lots of drivers in pit lane. Nina Hardeman is coming towards the hairpin at the end of the back straight. This is where drivers were getting caught out in practice earlier, going too deep on the brakes down there and having a mental battle with themselves as well as a battle on the brakes. It was a similar scene when we were in F1 practice as well. Maya Berg currently leads just under 1/10 of a second ahead of Dorian Pin. Then it is Chloe Chambers in 3rd. Nina Hardeman, who was a wildcard entry at Zandvoort last season, is 4th. Brilliant performance, I have to say, from Alban Larsen in 5th place, the young 16-year-old. Alicia Parmovsky, who was a wildcard at Qatar, now in a full-time seat, is P6. Tina Hausmann is 7th. Joanne Ciconti, in her first weekend, is P8. So there's some great performances going on there. Then we have Chloe Chong. Rafaela Ferreira is P10. Behind that is Nicole Habrada, and then we have Ella Lloyd. Shi Wei, the wildcard, is P13. Aurelia Nobels, Emma Felbermeyer is in 15th, and Courtney Crone, Ava Aragnostiades is 17th. Of course, Leah Block not taking part as she's having that new chassis, but some good performances going on there, is particularly Alba Larsen in the likes of 5th, Joanne Ciconti on her first weekend, up in 8th as well.
Yeah, certainly impressed with some of our rookies, some of our other drivers back out on the track. Aurelia Nobles keen to get another lap and keen to improve, currently sits in P14. So outside of that all-important top 8 that we need, remember that reverse grid is top 8 that will be reversed. So all important, all eyes on the top 8, and Aurelia Nobles keen to push herself up into that top 8. Also out on track setting a lap, Courtney Crone, who will also be keen to get herself up into that top 8 before the end of the session.
She will. Courtney Crone, who is currently out there trying to set those personal bests. She's got personal best through sector 1 and 2. Let's see if she can improve her and Aurelia Nobels. We can see Aurelia Nobels, the Brazilian driver, coming down through the final 2 corners now. To get into the top 8, you need a 2:05.311 as it stands. Up to the line comes Nobels now. the Puma back driver goes into the top 8. There we go, 2:05.152, and that will do it, but there's still quite a bit of time left on the clock, but that is the improvement she needed.
It is indeed, and the laps will start coming thick and fast now as the drivers coming out of the pit lane once again to start their next flying laps, and as you've said already, to get themselves into that top 8. There's just 11 minutes left of the session. Some of the drivers now coming back into the pit lane. Just a little bit of a reset before they go once again and take those final flying laps. Alba Larsen, a word for her, because sitting in P5 at the moment. Quite a shy character, quite a reserved character, but you rather get the feeling that once that helmet goes on, it is all guns blazing as she gets used to this F1 Academy series.
Alba Larsen putting Denmark on the grid for the first time. What a brilliant performance she's putting in so far, and we'll see if she can stay up there. She's battling with the likes of Nina Hardeman so far. Also fighting away with her car there was Ella Lloyd, and she's just had a few struggles in terms of that so far. Ella Lloyd, let's see if she can knock off some lap time here. The McLaren back driver now coming on to the back straights, needs to get down to the new bar which has been set for the top 8, which is a 2:05.1. Ella Lloyd now on to that back straight. Some drivers going out in the gap here, whilst we have the likes of Chambers, Hardeman, Larsen, Palmovsky, Houseman, Chiconti, Ferreira in pit lane. And there is our managing director, Susie Wolf, watching on from pit lane in good company. Ella Lloyd making her way out of the hairpin and up to the final corner. Let's see if she can improve on this time to take her towards a top 8 spot. Courtney Crone has just gone 11th, so towards the top 10, and in the top 10 is Ella Lloyd.
Yeah, Ella Lloyd, we saw a couple of moments from her earlier in the practice session, fighting the car, using all her car control, but will have gone away in between the practice session and the qualifying session. Just spoken to her engineer, who incidentally, her race engineer this year, Ella Lloyd, is Courtney Cresswell, who was Abby Pulling's race engineer last year. So all the knowledge of the team, all the knowledge of a winning team behind her, and Ella Lloyd will be soaking in as much knowledge as she can.
Tag Heuer backing Ava Anagnostiades this year, the Australian driver, new to single-seater racing still. It's not been long for her. Remember meeting her when she was still racing karting, and that wasn't long ago at all. So it's going to be very much a learning season for her. We'll see how she can develop, but that's what F1 Academy is all about. Developing drivers, as they mentioned when announcing their partnership with More Than Equal, helping develop drivers.
Absolutely, and F1 Academy pushing women in motorsport in general. We see them up and down the pit lane, showcasing the many roles that the women have within motorsport. Ava Anagnostiades just popping herself up to 16th, and as you said, a driver still relatively new to single-seater racing. Comes from a racing family. Her brother James is a Mercedes junior driver, but still relatively new and still learning, and that is crucial, the learning that F1 Academy gives these drivers, and the track time to just get used to how an F1 weekend works, how they work within the teams all established within the junior formulae, and all with a wealth of knowledge that these drivers can soak up.
They have their Champions of the Future Academy program, pushing drivers at grassroots level in karting as well. Ella Lloyd has just gone P7, so she's now into the top 8. That's crucial. Chloe Chong, we ride on board with her. The Charlotte Tilbury back driver, can she get away there? Look at the time of Maya Berg. We're into the final 8 minutes. Will we see the time of Maya Berg improve or beaten? A reminder of the format, the top 8 drivers reversed for race 1. Emma Felbermeyer, the Kick Sauber driver, has just gone P9. we're really seeing some improvements. 204.9, it's very close between those drivers fighting for that 8th spot. We're on board with Chloe Chong. She's going to take us now round turn 16. This is where you can lose all the hard work you've just done over the last 2 minutes. Chloe Chong has not done that though. She's nailed it and she's gone into P6, 204.5 for Chloe Chong.
Yeah, what a comeback to the grid that would be, but Maya Vug extending her lead out in front to nearly half a second to the P2 of Dorian Pin. Maya Vug means business in this qualifying session. Back on board with Alba Larsen, currently in P5, set a personal best in Sector 1 and Sector 2, now coming down the back straight towards turn 14. What can Alba do on the rest of this lap?
Let's find out. Alba Larsen hard on the brakes into the hairpin. Now down at turn 14. She's going to take us up to the left-hander at 16. See what she can do. Into the 90 left we go, and Alba Larsen across the line. Will she be punished for missing the apex there at the final corner? Yes, she will. Yellow final sector through for missing that apex through the final sector. Right, Alicia Parmovsky, P7, but that could be under threat. Look how close it is between Parmovsky, Lloyd, Houseman. She will need an improvement here to be safe in this top 8, and she gets it. P5 for Alicia Parmovsky. Joanne Ciconti across the line has improved in time, but not position. What about the likes of Tina Houseman? She's a little bit away from the line, but the timing screen, Izzy, absolutely lighting up.
Yeah, the lap's coming thick and fast as we get towards the end of this qualifying session. Tina Houseman just wrestling the car in there. Green Sector 1, green Sector 2. Emma Felbermeyer's just gone up to P6 as well.
Yeah, Emma Felbermeyer into P6, so Chloe Chong has been eliminated from the top 8. Meanwhile, we look at Tina Houseman down the back straight. She is P11 so far, so the Aston Martin driver could do with an improvement here. 1.4 back from Maya Berg at the moment as Nina Hardeman improves.
And this is all going to come down to the last few laps, isn't it? Everybody setting more laps, getting more time in there under their belt, and just carrying on with this qualifying session, just wanting to get as best position as they can, because mentally a great way to start the season. Tina Houseman comes across the line up to P5.
Tina Houseman into 5th place, Adegnostiades into 15th behind Nicole Havreda. Here is Nina Hardeman. She needs to improve now. She is now in 8th place, and she is 0.06 of a second behind Felbermeyer. So can she improve? Doesn't look like that will be the case, but look at the toe that could be given out on this lap. She's getting a toe from Ella Lloyd. Meanwhile, Alicia Parmovsky is getting a double toe from them both. We could see big improvements, but do not run wide on the brakes. Bit of a lock up there from Hardeman up towards the final corner, but that could all be gained back by the toe she is getting. Chloe Chong improving as well. We are getting a lot of drivers improving on this lap. What will we see in terms of improvements? Alicia Parmovsky could be one to watch here. Across the line, Hardeman improves to 5th place, and she did that all in the final sector, Izzy, as Joanne Ciconti goes 5th.
Joanne Ciconti up to 5th, back on board with Chloe Chong now on another lap. She's currently in P10. These times are coming so quickly. It's someone gets to P8 and then immediately pushed back down. It's going to be all about those last few laps. Alba Larsen still sitting up in P3 as well, and Joanne Ciconti in P5. The rookies really impressing in this session.
Alba Larsen, P3 is an amazing performance for her. Chambers 4th, Ciconti next along. What can Chloe Chong do? Oh no, she's gone wide, down at the hairpin, and Chloe Chong, that might have to be another attempt now at a lap. She will get it. Nicole Havreda, the American Express driver, has gone 12th. Let's see what Chong can do. Nevertheless, down to the line, P10 so far, only needs a bit of an improvement, but that mistake at the hairpin has cost her. She still has time. We are getting towards the territory now of final laps. Here is the mistake she makes. This is going to be down at the left-hander, so she made the mistake there when we joined her on the onboard, and then she ran wide again down at the end of the back straight as well. So Chloe Chong, she came out of the long right-hander here, and then it was down the back straight. That probably would have been on her mind as well, out of here. Knew that she'd lost a bit of time coming into the left-hander, and it was maybe on her mind that she had to try and make it up on the brakes. Went for it, under braking there, as you can see, and there went the apex to her right hand. But Chloe Chong absolutely going for it. Has time to go again for another lap, possibly two. Okay, here's a driver that is right on the cusp of getting reverse grid pole, possibly a few positions. She's only 2/10 away from P6, is he?
Yeah, a driver that we've not spoken too much about, but comes from a racing family. Both father and grandfather competed in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Comes from that racing pedigree, will want to start her season well. And green sector 1, green sector 2, looks like it is going to be an improvement from Emma Felbermeyer. Can she get herself up into that all-important top 8? We're into the last minute of this qualifying session now.
Emma Felbermeyer, the only driver currently improving. Can she go up the standings? Yes, P6. Well done, Emma Felbermeyer. Tina Hausmann down to P9. So that's a crucial change in the standings there. What about Nicole Havrida? 12th place, stays there, but she's got one more lap to try and improve. We're going to see final laps coming in. Alba Larsen has been the driver of the session for me so far. P3 for the 16-year-old on her first weekend, her first qualifying session in this series. Checkered flag is out. She's not improving, but right now she doesn't need to. Currently the sectors, there is no one improving as of yet. Ella Lloyd has just gone personal best through the second sector. Rafaela Ferreira likewise. Is everyone waiting for this final flying lap? Let's watch Alba Larsen come up towards the line. Can she improve on what has been a fantastic performance, Izzy?
So impressive from Alba Larsen, one of the youngest drivers in the field, only by a few days to Joanne Chiconzi as well. A fantastic way to come into this F1 Academy season. Third, it's looking like at the moment as she takes the checkered flag. Dorian Pin also on a lap, but Maya Vug sitting pretty still in provisional pole.
Dorian Pin can't seem to improve on this lap. The best of the tyre performance seems to have faded for her. Ella Lloyd looked like she might have been improving, but she has taken the flag and will be no higher than 11th, and lots of drivers now beginning to take the flag. Hardeman, P8. Parmovsky has just improved and gone to P5, so a change there at the end. Alicia Parmovsky was P8, she has gone to P5. Lock up for Dorian Pin coming down to the hairpin, and she now makes her way up towards the final corner. Dorian Pin, let's see if she can gain anything here to try and snatch pole away from Maya Vug. She takes us to the line now, not quite. It won't be an improvement for Dorian Pin. It looks like Maya Vug will be the driver to take pole position, and it will be a first pole position for Maya Vug. We have a yellow flag out at sector 3. Let's have a look what happened here with Dorian Pin. That's the lockup we see. And Dorian Pin giving it everything. There you can see the left front locking up, coming into the hairpin. But MP Motorsports, who run Maya Vug, can now officially celebrate. They take the first pole position of the season, and Maya Vug takes her first pole position in the F1 Academy Racing Series. Picks up where she left off. She took her first win in the series at the end of last season at Abu Dhabi. Now she's on pole.
Here you go. Who is on pole? Who is on pole?
I guess not. Sorry.
Ferrari taking their last pole here in 2018, and Ferrari now back there, and that will make all the fans very happy indeed. Great performance from her, winning at the end of last season, Izzy, and now Maya has put them back there.
Yeah, what a performance from Maya Vug as well, and half a second, an immense amount to take it by in these cars. Dorian Pin in P2, as you can see, gap to the leader, 0.497, nearly half a second down on Maya Vug, and what a way to bring the momentum from 2024 into 2025.
Dorian Pin second. She will be on the front row, so a good start to her season, but she's going to have to do something about that half a second gap to Maya Vug here, who has put a big gap down to her. So a well done to Maya Vug, taking pole position for the first race of the season. Remember, that will be pole position for race 2, because the top 8 will be reversed for race 1, where Nina Hardeman will start on pole position alongside Emma Felbermeyer on her first weekend in F1 Academy Racing Series. In terms of row 2 for Grand Prix Sunday, it will be 16-year-old Alba Larsen alongside Chloe Chambers. Alba on her first weekend. Alicia Palmovsky comes into her first full season 5th. Joanne Chiconti on her first ever weekend, P6. Some real standout performances there. Who stood out for you, Izzy?
Yeah, hugely impressed with Alba Larsen, of course, but also Joanne Chiconti and Emma Felbermeyer in that all-important top 8 on their first weekend in the series.
Let's go through the qualifying results. Maya Vug then taking pole position in the first round of the season, putting Ferrari at the top. Dorian Pin for Mercedes, just under half a second back. Well done, Alba Larsen, P3. What a way to make an entrance. Chloe Chambers 4th, Alicia Palmovsky, the only one improving towards the end there, going 5th. Joanne Chiconti 6th, and Emma Felbermeyer. Nina Hardeman will take reverse grid pole, and then it was Tina Hausman and Chloe Chong. Ella Lloyd P11, Nicole Havrida 12th. Rafaela Ferreira will take a 3-place grid drop for both races, promoting Aurelia Nobel's Courtney Crone. Ava Adagnostiades up. Shiwei 17th will fly the Chinese flag. She is the wild card for this weekend. Leah Block is having a chassis rebuild and did not take part, but we expect to see her for both races. That is all from myself, Chris McCarthy and Izzy Browning. Ben Edwards and Alice Powell will be here to call you through both races for the rest of the weekend. You can join them for race 1 at 15 minutes past 1 local time tomorrow. For now, it's goodbye.